Hello everyone, welcome to week 2 of module 1 for introduction to Python programming. Today we are actually going to start learning more about print function in Python, and we'll learn some more basics about print function. And I'm using the Google Colab or Google Colaboratory environment. If you are not familiar with Google Colaboratory, then I will highly suggest that you check other videos posted by me previously regarding getting started with Google Colaboratory, so you can actually start using it. And the steps that I will follow in this video, you can actually easily replicate them without any other problem. So let's start diving into the print functions in Python. And print is actually a function. When I say it is a function, I refer to it that it has a functionality, and I can know more about it if I type this word help. And so before diving deeper into all these details, let me just give a preface about this Google Colab notebook, that this cell where my cursor is and where this help parenthesis print parenthesis close is written, this is a code cell. And this cell where my cursor is now, this is a text cell. So there are two types of cells in the Google Colab, where we have the code cell. If I even bring my cell here, it is saying code cell, and then it has another option of text cell. And now I wrote this help function, help keyword, and then I have written a parenthesis, have written the word print, and then have closed the parenthesis. And now if I click on this play button, it will execute the cell. It will run this cell, or I can alternatively press Control plus Enter, and it will also execute this cell. We have covered this in our previous videos. If you have any problem, please do check the previous videos, and you will be all ready to actually start understanding this stuff. And I'm gonna run this cell now. So now you have seen it, that when I executed the help for the print function, which is, it has printed all the details related with it. So help on built-in function print in module built-in. So it is telling me it is a built-in function. And over here, if you see, the print is written again, and then it is showing value, then separated by a comma, and then there can be some other values here separated by a comma, and then it has these statements written SEP in general term, it is a separator, and then it has another word end, like ending, and then equal says the value is being assigned, and what is the value of a separator, what is the value of end character, the end actually, and this symbol /n represents new line in string in Python. So please remember, whenever you see this combination of characters /n, it refers to new line, that a new line will be started. And then there are some other things here as well, and normally we don't use all of these options, but it's good that you can always come back and check them. And we will now start into more basic functions and functionalities and test them. And also, if you don't want to use help as it is, you can also write a question mark in the notebook environment and execute the cell. And what will happen, it will pop up a new window where it will present all that same information that it has presented here as well. So I can close this. Now, as we have seen here, that if we write any value after typing print, which is a keyword, and then there is a open parenthesis, and if we write any value, and then if we close the parenthesis, it is most likely going to print or visualize that writing, whatever we do. In my previous videos, I already have explained about strings, and string is a data type that is consisting of text information, text-based information, and strings are the text that is enclosed in double quotes or in single quotes, okay? And now if I execute this cell by pressing Ctrl Enter, it has printed hello world. See, so that was the purpose or the functionality of print function, that if you pass it anything, it can print it. And it can be the why it can be helpful, like if you run a software, or if you just click on a software to start it, it can even print something for you, welcome to this new software. Or that is an example of the application of a print. And then we can even print multiple strings, like you want to check how many fruits are available in the inventory, which kind of fruits are available in the inventory, and maybe we have apple, banana and cherry available in the inventory, and we want to print them to show them to the user, whoever is using the inventory software in a departmental store. And if we execute this cell, I did just press Control Enter, and I can see apple, banana, cherry. Now, these are the default functionalities of print function in Python, that if you pass any number of values separated by comma, they will be printed. You can even have different, so normally in English, we don't write apple, banana, cherry, we will separate them by a comma. We can also do that in the same way. So if you remember over here, it mentioned that a default separator for the print function is that SEP equal space. This is a space. So we can just use this idea that we can tell this function that the separator we want should be a comma, okay? And that is what we will do here, that instead of saying a space, we have added a comma followed by a space. And now if we execute it here, so we have all these values that we had previously, but now we have added this separator with a comma followed by a space, so that it prints all these fruits in a way that they are separated by comma, as this is the expected output. So we're gonna execute this cell now, and you can see each and every fruit is now separated by a comma. And sometimes actually what we can even want to do, like in the end of a sentence, we don't want to end up with a full stop or with a new line. For example, we want to end up with a question mark or with the exclamation mark or with something else. So we can even change that. Either we type it ourselves or we pass it as an argument. So that's our choice actually. That is another functionality that comes up. So if you remember, the ending of the print function shows that it is using a character that goes to new line. So let's even do something. Let's do, for example, one experiment. What does this new line do? So if I come here and I just say print, and remember, every string either should be in single quote or double quote. And I can say like this, and backslash n. A backslash n b print. Now you will see A is printed in first line, and now the B is printed with a space because there was a space after new line. So if I actually remove this space and run it again, you will see A and B are both now actually separated by a new line. And if I write one more time, now it will add 2 new line spaces. So executing it again, now from A it went to the new line, from the new line it went to another new line, and then printed B. So that is the usefulness of this new line character, that you can include and it will read it as a new line while printing. Now what we want to do, I just want to use how to use how to use print function with a question mark. And one way is that I write question mark here, okay? And another way is that I just pass the question mark to this end character. So whatever text I have stored in a variable called text, we also read in the previous videos that what is a variable, what is a constant, how we store values in variables. If you have any problem, please do check those lectures of Introduction to Python and Basic Python Programming. We have all this covered in detail there. So over here, I'm saving this text as a string in the variable called text text. And over here, we can print this text variable, and we can specify to print a question mark along with the content of this variable text. And if we execute it now, how to use print function in Python. And as an example, you can also change this thing. I will just copy paste this content, copy this content here, and over here I can either press B to add a new code cell, or I can just come over here and it will just give me an option to add another code cell, and I will paste the text, and I'll just use no. We can actually write any content here and then print another character at the end, or we can even remove this thing. For example, I can remove this thing and then add a question mark here and then print. So it works in both ways. I can actually add a question mark. I just added a space here. If I remove this space and run this one again, it prints the same thing. So these are just options, the way we want to use it in the programming, and each option has a different advantage in different circumstances. Moving to the next part, we have using both separator and ends together. We can actually use them. Now we have red, green, blue, these colors, and we just want to separate them by a dash, and then at the end of it, we want to add a sign of exclamation mark. Let's execute this one. Good. And right now I can even change this separator to a comma as we did previously, add a space after that. You can see how it looks nice. And even at the end of this character, I can maybe add something different. Maybe I can add some asterisks and then execute it. See? So these are the different ways you can just manipulate it. And also, in our previous video, we discussed about different data types actually. The data types that we actually have discussed were integer, which we call int. We have discussed floats, which we call float. And we also have discussed strings. We represent them as str. And then we also have discussed boolean, and we represent them as bool. So there were some data types, and what is integer is a whole number. It can be positive and negative, but without decimals. Floats are numbers with decimals, positive, negative, anything. Strings are actually combination of characters. So remember, A is a character, B is a character. A itself as a single character is a string as well, and if it has a combination of a lot of characters, it's a long string. But in Python, we consider even a single character as a string as well. So if I have written something like this, I go back here, I will add a cell, and I say x is equal to A. A is a character, and then I can actually just say print x. It just printed x for me. And if I want to even know the type of x, what is the type, I can just write the keyword type and write x and execute it, and it will tell me it is a str, which is string. So that's what I wanted to say. And in the same way, I can even see A, B, C, D, E, and then execute the same thing again. So even if it is a single character in Python, or it's a multiple characters enclosed in the single quotes or double quotes, it will be considered as a string. And then we have Boolean. Boolean values are true or false. We actually will cover them more in detail later as well. And also, so now when we want to print different data types, for example, name is a string, Abdul. Age is uh, an integer, 33 years old. Weight can be like, I can say 180.58. So it becomes a float. So this one, I'm adding a comment. So remember, the hash is for comment, and I'm adding a comment string data type, and then I call it integer data type, and then we have this one which is float data type. And now we want to print my name is, this is a string separated by a comma. Then we write name variable. Name variable is a string which stores the name Abdul. Now we have a comma again, and I am is again a string followed by a comma. Then I have added age 33. It's an integer data type. 33 value is stored inside age variable. Then we have also added a string years old, and then we have the weight. Weight is also a float which has decimal places, and printed. So when I print it, after executing this Alma, so it printed my name is Abdul. So where I have put the variable name, it has printed its value Abdul. And I am, now after I am, I have this variable age, it has printed 33. 33 was stored inside the variable age, and my weight is 180.58, and 180.58 is the value stored inside the weight, which I actually added here, and it's printed. So this was actually a way to use multiple variables of different data types inside a print function. And in the next video, we are going to learn F strings, and they are more useful, and you will love to use them in the programming, that they reduce a lot of effort and they make our life easier. So I'll see you in the next video. Till then, keep learning. Goodbye.